Many thanks to the universe!
We're out here with 8 of our earliest GoPro employees to kind of celebrate what we've accomplished and catch up with you and Forbes on the GoPro story.
So we got here, we took a jet to a helicopter to get here. It's a long way from when you guys used to drive Penske trucks and you lived out of your van selling essentially what was the starter for the
early cameras. The crew that we've got here today is the same crew that, as you mentioned, drove the Penske trucks out to all the trade shows. You know, we drive from San Francisco to Salt Lake City, Utah, all through the night to then set up all through the next night, the trade show booth, trying to make this dream of GoPro real. And it's that passion that's made us so successful today. So it's really exciting to finally be at a place where the company is doing well enough where we all get to start to enjoy some of the fruits of that labor.
Do you think this has the potential to displace camcorders and other video equipment?
It already has. Consumers are no longer spending their money on point-and-shoot cameras, pocket cameras, because they already have that in the form of their smartphone. So they have disposable income for something like a GoPro, which is highly differentiated from a smartphone. A GoPro is never going to replace a smartphone for reactive capture moments where something is happening and, oh, I want to quickly capture that. Because you have your smartphone on you, you quickly take a photo and share it, and that's it. GoPro's opportunity is to help people capture meaningful life's experiences in an engaging, immersive way that they can't with a smartphone. For example, capturing your perspective going skiing today in an, IMAX-like, huge, big, wide-angle, highly immersive manner that it's, when you watch it, it's like reliving that experience. People think that GoPro is like an overnight success, but it's a classic 10-year overnight success.
So, started in 2002. Let's talk about that initiation of the dream. How did that start and how did that come about?
I'd started a business before that I raised $4 million of other people's money, started a web marketing company, went boom and bust with the first .com boom and bust. I knew I wanted to make it as an entrepreneur and start another business, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. And so for inspiration, I went surfing, and I planned a 5-month surf trip around Australia and Indonesia. The inspiration came before I even left. I wanted to capture photos of myself and my friends that I was going on the trip with while we were surfing out in the water. And no camera existed that allowed you to do that. And so I set out to develop this wrist harness that I could put a single-use disposable camera into and surf with it. I didn't even mean it to be a business idea. I just wanted to document my experience on this trip. And as soon as I got it working well, the light bulb went off and I realized, oh my God, there must be so many other surfers in the world that want something like this.
So you started with wrist straps, essentially. But how do you go from wrist straps, which are very simple, to hardware and to actually developing a camera?
I wanted to use higher quality cameras with my wrist strap to capture higher quality photos, but every camera that I would use with the strap surfing, I would break the camera because cameras weren't designed to be used during rigorous activities like surfing. And what I ended up doing was I spent 2 years going to trade shows, the camera trade shows around the world, to look for a camera that was close to what I would want to design. After a year and a half, about a year, I found it and got the manufacturer to agree to make the modifications and begin building the cameras for me. I actually did the deal without ever meeting the actual company. It was all email. I had one phone call where we could barely understand each other because of language barrier.
Were they Chinese?
They're in Shenzhen. I wired my $5,000 for the tool the mold to be made, because it was actually cheaper just to wire $5,000 than to fly over there, meet them, have a business trip, and I just figured, okay, we'll just go for it. And they ended up being legitimate. And we were profitable from day one because it was just me, one employee. We just had no overhead, and rolled one good production run into another and slowly scaled it. And the GoPro that everybody knows today has been built on $265,000 of capital.
And you guys have just announced a recent round of funding by Foxconn.
Foxconn bought into the company,
right.
And bought a stake, almost a 9% stake, for a couple $100 million. So when you think of where we've come from with this $3 cost reusable camera on the wrist for surfers, to where we are now with the Hero 3, to where we're now going to be going with Foxconn, it's really exciting.
So this is really becoming a everyday product.
Yeah, it's a life capture device. So, we're skiing today with it, on your chest and on my helmet and mounted on ski poles looking back at us, and on the ski tips looking back at us. It's the same camera that surgeons are mounting to their headwear to document their surgical procedures to share with students around the world. It's the same camera that Discovery Channel is using to shoot most of its TV shows, capturing perspectives that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. We know the military is using it extensively, both for combat documentation and also for training. This is still the same device that is sold, at Best Buy, ski shops and surf shops. There's a major shift in what consumers are looking for to help them document their lives, and they're looking to GoPro.